The art style of Mio Memories in Orbit immediately stood out to me, and the soundtrack is genuinely beautiful. Visually and sonically, it hooked me almost right away. The atmosphere is very clearly inspired by Hollow Knight, and in that respect, it works extremely well. But despite how strong the presentation is, the opening hours feel harsher than they need to be. Not because the game is brutally difficult, but because it's very constrained early on. This is a game that withholds player expression at the start and asks you to trust that it will pay that off later. In the opening stretch, your tools are extremely limited. You start without a dodge or a parry, which turns most early combat encounters into a simple loop of baiting attacks and punishing when there's an opening. It's not unfair, and it's not especially hard, but it is very narrow. You're surviving encounters rather than expressing a playstyle. Most fights in those first hours feel like a fight for survival, and that's largely because of how the health and checkpoint systems work. Health only regenerates at fountains, death sends you all the way back to the central hub, and there are no meaningful checkpoints for quite a while. Mistakes are costly, and iteration is slow. I wouldn't describe this as difficult in the same way games like Hollow Knight or Silksong are difficult. Instead, it feels like the challenge is front-loaded. The game punishes experimentation before mastery can really exist. To be clear, shortcuts do exist, and they're actually very satisfying rewards for exploring an area as thoroughly as your current abilities allow. As you progress, you unlock paths that meaningfully reduce runback friction. The problem is timing. Those shortcuts usually arrive after you've already been frustrated. That creates a trust gap. The game eventually respects your time, but only after it's tested your patience. In effect, it's asking you to trust it before it's actually earned that trust. After a few hours, things start to change. You begin unlocking new abilities, a dodge, a grapple, and other tools that immediately expand how you approach combat and traversal. You gain additional health orbs and perks for Mio, and combat becomes faster, more flexible, and less anxious. As you unlock more of the map, fast travel points start appearing, and these also function as checkpoints. At that point, death starts to feel instructional rather than punitive, and exploration becomes something you lean into instead of something you brace yourself for. This is the moment where it finally feels like the real game has started. Right now, there are a few open questions I'm still sitting with. Is this kind of opening still acceptable in 2026? Who is this design filtering for? Does a strong mid-game justify a rough early game? And does that early friction permanently cost the game players who would have left it later? I am enjoying my time with Mio, and I plan on finishing it and giving my full thoughts once I've seen the whole experience. I'm genuinely curious to see whether the mid-game and late game fully justify that opening stretch. If you've been playing Mio Memories in Orbit, I'd love to hear what you think so far. Thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe for more content.